So another thing that Wind Waker introduced was the air meter. In every other 3D Zelda game, you can swim forever, but in this game, you can only swim for an arbitrary amount of time. And it's good that there's a meter there to tell you, obviously, how long you're going to be able to spend in the water. 'Cause it's not like in Sonic where you're in the water and then a drowning timer happens. So that's good. I think the air meter was implemented to make sure that people can't just swim to whatever island they want at any time. Although, to be honest, you swim so slowly, and the Great Sea is so vast, that it literally takes a really long time to swim to any island. Like, I think it would take hours to swim from one side of the Great Sea to another. So, I really don't think it was necessary to implement an air meter at all. I mean, if you can motivate yourself to swim to sequence break, then I think you deserve to be rewarded for that, considering how boring it is. Just swimming all the way from, like, imagine you swim all the way from Outset Island to Forest Haven. So you can get there without meeting the boat, but in the time that you took swimming there, you would have gotten there much faster just by playing the game normally. So yeah, I don't really see the point of the air meter, honestly. It's just an unnecessary limitation. He definitely swam a lot better in the other games, especially in Twilight Princess. He swam faster there too, and it felt like there was more of an actual swimming mechanic rather than just moving in the water. Also, his swimming controls are kind of shit. Like, he keeps on moving, and like he turns like a tank. He doesn't just do an instant turn to face whatever direction you happen to be hitting. Like, it can make hard to collect stuff in the water because you circle around it. Speaking of hard, this is a pretty irritating puzzle because you can swear that you targeted all the crystals, but then the boomerang will randomly decide to not hit all of them. Or sometimes you can start targeting from the wrong part of the top of the platform, and so suddenly you can't target a crystal because it's too far below the ground for some reason. These moments are really annoying. You can't attack them when they have invisibility frames, so it's easy to get punched by them during that period of time. Like, you can see right there, I did a boomerang on it, and nothing happened. The boomerang is your best friend when it comes to the combat in this game. Like, the boomerang is something that you're always gonna have equipped to the Y button at all times. Just because of how convenient it is. Like, it's practically cheating. Because their weapons are so long, they have such long reach, that it's better to just stun them so they can't do anything to you. Although, it's really stupid how you stun an enemy, and then you attack it, and that immediately sends it out of its stun animation. So it's like the boomerang is good for one attack. Compare this to Link to the Past, where you'd stun an enemy with a boomerang, and you'd be able to attack it multiple times. At least I think that's how it was. But, yeah, like I said, equipped to the Y button. Usually, I prefer to have certain items equipped to certain buttons at all times. I prefer to have the grappling hook on the X button, and the boomerang on the Y button, and the sail on the Z button, and stuff like that. That's just something that you develop. I clearly had the targeting reticule over that pole. Anyways, it's also kind of easy to overlook that pole. Because, like, you have to look up for it. So it's easy to get stuck in that room and forget what you're supposed to do to get out of it. But yeah, you just do this, and then you side jump to make it a lot easier to get here. I don't think I remember doing that trick when I was a kid. Like, you side jump on top of the flower itself, so you don't have to jump over to it. A lot of rooms will lock you in them. I like how it's creative, at least how this time they lock you into the room with the... I don't really know how to describe those things. Whatever they are. I want to say cactus, but they move around on their own. They're really weird. So what's this brown chest containing? Another joy pendant. I mean, I know that the brown chest is the least valuable one, but I don't think that the joy pendants even deserve to be put in chests in the first place. Like, it's just one! Why can't the game just put multiple spoils in a chest in a row? Like in Link to the Past, it had no problem with putting multiple arrows in a chest in a row. So why can't they do the same with spoils in the 3D Zelda games? I accidentally went to a spin attack there because I guess I was expecting an enemy, but instead a fairy came out. Usually the fairies are in the pots and stuff that are closest to the boss door. So it's intuitive in that sense. I hate how you can't even like hold down the A button to make the text scroll faster. Like sometimes text bubbles will allow you to mash A and get through them faster. And of course you can hold down B and like mash B to get through them a lot faster than normal. But some text just insists on scrolling by really slowly, like all of the item text. Oh yeah, this is the save screen. Just to show you, I guess. This game is pretty unique in that it has pigs instead of chickens. And like I think that's pretty special. It helps give the game its own unique feel. Why? Like, did he just get here? Why wasn't the boss in the boss form like the whole time? Why did he decide to wait until now to swallow up Macker? Was he just waiting here the whole time? Or was he just randomly navigating the dungeon for no reason? Like, why was he even here? I guess he was snatched up by a monster, but why was he flying close to the area in the first place? What reason would he have to even leave the Forest Haven? Why is he even here? I mean, I guess he works as an excuse to get to the dungeons, because a unique thing about this game is that you don't get the pearls from the dungeons themselves. You just go to the dungeon to prove your worth, and then people outside the dungeon give you the pearl. I love the theme that plays here. I always have. Like, I remember when I was little, I would imagine a third world for Link to the Past, and I think I called it like Swaziland or something like that. And like I imagine it basically being a blue dark world. And I thought that was like that's how much I love this scene. Like I love the surreal feeling of it. It's otherworldly and it's ominous too. Unfortunately, the boss fight itself is really annoying. You could have sworn that you targeted everything you wanted to target, but it'll just insist on like hitting the tentacles because it can't just ignore them. Oh no. And it'll just like, why can't you just target all of the tentacle things? Why can't you target all of them at once? Why can't you just collapse the boss in one go? That would have been fun. It's so awkward being expected to really quickly aim the boomerang at all of these things. I mean, you constantly got these tentacles attacking you. It's like, it's not possible to easily get the boss to fall right away. And of course, if you're too close to it, then for some reason you won't be able to target it. You can actually defeat the boss in one cycle if you just constantly spin attack. Unfortunately, the boss, for some reason, I end up locked in a combo, and that's exactly why the combos and weak attacks in this game suck. If I could just have the spin attack mapped to a different button, then I would just easily be able to spam the spin attack over and over again and defeat the boss in just one cycle, which I actually did the last time I played the game. well, actually, the last time I played the game, since before the last time I played the game, well, I didn't accomplish the thing that I wanted to do to show off for the extra part. So I had to play through the entire game again up to this point, just to get there. But anyways, I just really hate this boss. It just goes to show off how bad the boomerang is. And look, I just had one spin attack left to go. I like how this boss isn't scripted. Like, you can actually defeat it in one go. But that just makes it all the more frustrating when all of a sudden you just do a weak attack and get locked into a combo when you just wanted to do the spin attack. I really hate this character. I mean, he's harmless, I guess. He's kind of cute, but he's just so annoying, and like, he becomes really irritating in the Wind Temple. Like, his character is fine, but having him around, well, it's not very fun. You'll see what I mean later on. And of course he has to drag things out by going out with you. Like, why do we have to see that? It just feels like kind of a waste of development time. But now we get a really charming cutscene. Like, I love the... Like, this is pretty charming. Like, the way the music is all happy here. And I like Link's amusing sort of dancing animation after the music starts to play. And like, I love the music that also plays. Like, although it's kind of weird that the Koroks are able to make bagpipe sounds, like just by like it kind of sounds like bagpipe sounds, I guess, when they're chanting. But yeah, it's really, this is one of the cutscenes that I don't mind seeing and being forced not to skip. I don't know how playing music and singing causes the seeds on the Duca tree to grow. I guess they're all, well, I can imagine the instrument being charmed to be magical, but why would their singing itself? See, I like that animation of him. Who needs an orchestrated soundtrack? Seriously, that sounded so good, and that was all synthesized instruments, apparently. I think that sounded perfectly fine. I also like this music. It makes you feel good. Although, when you think about this from a human perspective, what are the Great Dooku seeds, considering that the Great Dooku is a person, essentially? And the Koroks are his children at that. The Koroks are descended from the Kokiri of the Ocarina of Time, who had a human form. I guess they were only human because they were told to take on human form, so that Link in Ocarina of Time would actually buy that he was one of them. I don't know which design I prefer. I guess I do prefer the human Kokiri design. Which is weird since I didn't grow up with them. Like, Ocarina of Time was always just a faint thing to me. I was introduced to it in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and so I always pictured it having much better graphics than it ended up having. Cause, like, imagine, and like, even when Ocarina of Time was ported to the 3DS, which was essentially a handheld GameCube, it doesn't look anything like Link from Ocarina of Time does on Smash Bros. Melee. So that's why I don't at all find Ocarina of Time 3DS's graphics to be impressive, because they could have easily had the game look just as good as Ocarina of Time's assets do in Melee, but it doesn't. I like the voice clips that play here and like the cutscene that plays when he makes a potion for you. Although I wish I could just skip it because it's kind of tedious. Like, it's nice to get free potion, but I don't like seeing the same cutscene every single time. Like, why can't I just get multiple different potions in a row?